Okay, find the remainder when x cubed plus 2x squared minus 7x plus 1 is divided by x minus 1. So the first thing we need to do is call this f of x, okay, because it's a function of x, this polynomial, okay. And then we need to think about the remainder theorem, okay. So essentially, when f of x is divided by, in general, x minus a, okay, so a can be any number, and this is for general case here. Then what we found is then the remainder is going to equal to f of a, okay. Now, of course, when the linear term is a factor, okay, when it divides into it perfectly, we get the remainder to be 0, don't we? Okay, because it's a factor of it, so f of a is 0. But that's not always the case. Okay, when we divide, sometimes it doesn't divide into it perfectly. Okay, it won't divide into it perfectly, and it leaves a remainder, and we're going to see that now in these next two questions. Okay, whether they are factors or not. So we've got to look at what we're dividing by here, x minus 1. Okay, so in that case there, if we sort of relate a then to this value, obviously a is going to be 1. So I need to work out what f of 1 is. Okay, so I plug it in. And I have 1 cubed plus 2 times 1 squared, take away 7 times 1 plus 1. And if I work that out, I get minus 3. So the remainder is minus 3. That means then that it's not a factor, okay, because it leaves a remainder. For b, find the remainder when this is divided by x minus 4. Well, let's write that out full there. That's f of x, okay. And again, looking at that statement up here, yeah. So when f of x is divided by x minus a, the remainder is equal to f of a. Okay, well in this case we've got x minus 4, yeah. So that means the remainder will be f of 4, because a is going to be 4. So we just sub in 4 in here. Okay. So we'll do that, and we'll work that out on our calculator. So 5 bracket 4 cubed, take away 2 bracket 4 squared, plus 4 times 4, plus 1, and it comes out to be 305. So it's definitely got a remainder here, yeah? So this is not a factor, okay? So question could ask, is it a factor or not? Well, clearly it's not a factor there. So last one then, so again, right here, f of x is 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus 19x plus 6. Okay, so remember that remainder theorem again. If we divide it by x minus a, so if we're dividing by x minus a, the remainder is equal to f of a. So in this case, well, I'm dividing by x plus 1. So got to be careful here, right, because we've got a plus here. Whereas generally it says x minus. So what you've got to appreciate is then that it's so going to be the opposite of this, because if I change this to a minus, okay, then I need to have a minus 1 there, yeah? So that this actually corresponds to what we're dividing by, because we're dividing by x plus 1. But if we write it in terms of the general formula, where you've got to take away, well then, because this needs to be positive, I'd have to make my a to be minus 1, and then of course 2 minuses make that plus. So that implies then the remainder is equal to f of minus 1. So plug it in. Okay, and we get that, so I can work that out. So calculator, 3 times minus 1 cubed plus 2 times minus 1 squared minus 19 times minus 1 plus 6, and it comes out to be 24. So again, it doesn't divide into it perfectly.